19th of November. Where is time going? Seriously. In a month, the week before Christmas. Stepping out the consumption this morning. And we've had a good sheet of snow. The pond has not been covered this year. Oh, I had a problem with this last year, the net, I forgot about that. I need to get that sorted out because obviously the weight on that it's not good. Oh, it's got snow on me. The fish pond has not been covered this year, and the water is now at 6.5. Fish are still meandering around as they do, look. Still doing their thing. Water still flowing, no dramas. It just takes nerve at this time of year, it really does. And I really don't want to shake that branch while I'm stood under it. Oh, this is where I need my broom. No, I've got a broom and a stick to get all this snow. Oh, that's worrying me. Bloody hell. That's worrying me. Oh, grim. So that's going to be my first job, get that off. We'll go to slush soon, you what? I didn't get to that quick enough, look. I wanted to, I said when it's dry and crispy on my last video, cut it down. Now the risk with not turning off your blades and stuff is if it freezes up and tracks, so you get a bit of a blockage with snow. So if the snow come down, it froze here and it started causing a block, the water slows down and it freezes up, and then it backs up and overflows out and empties your pond and you lose water. So with a bit of luck, this snow is not going to be here too long. Greenhouse is covered. Here's Teddy. Summer's in bed, literally in bed still. So we've had about 4 inches of snow here. There's my pond, no longer wildlife pond. Oh, look at that lovely tree. So yeah, this weight of the snow just collapses everything. The bees. I'm a greenhouse. Oh, now this, quite a nice view. Times like this when you hope you've done your best for them and they've got the food and they're packed in there nice and warm. It does look quite beautiful, as we all think, but this will be a dark dungeon because there's no sun coming in. I noticed yesterday it was literally it's reached a saturation point in here, so I need to get my mop out on the ceiling. So it looks really dark in here at the moment, but that's because of the snow on the top. Now what I have noticed, I've turned my air source heat pump down to the water in here now to 12 to kick in at 11.9 and go off at 12. Well, you can see the air source heat pump light is on, it's got power to it, and it's not working. So even though there's power to it, that air source heat pump out there will either be working and working its nuts off, because it can't get the warmth out of the air, but it's not efficient enough. And this is where you have problems with air source heat pumps. If they're not efficient enough, it'll either run or it'll like freeze up or it just cut out. You can have settings on them. So I think I need to get a setting on. I think I did actually, 2 degrees or something. So the heater's kicked in, the inline heater's kicked in, look, by the looks of it. That's putting heat to it. So that's now maintaining this minimum temperature of 11.5 in here, 11.3 at 7 there, 11.4, so yeah, about 11.5 degrees. Wow, 11.5 degrees, it's bloody hell. 0. It's only 3 degrees in here. That is cold. You don't normally get that cold in here. So I'm going to leave it like this and see what happens this year. Because last year in here, at this time of year, I was keeping it in here. If you have a look at my last video a year ago, similar sort of thing happened, snow, but in here, I'm sure I was holding something like 14 degrees. It was lovely and tropical. Well, it felt it when you came in here from 0 outside, because the fans, the heaters were turned up. 3 kilowatt heaters, I've got 2 of them, were turned up higher. So it's a bit of a test. Yeah, 11.6. This is unheated, totally unheated. Normally about a degree out. That's saying it's 11.2, totally unheated. But what'll happen now, these aren't that good to be fair. 11.8, yeah, 11.8, that's saying. Oops, hang on, and that's 11.2. So normally there's about a degree out, but what'll happen now is, obviously, if this were to get colder in here, this would plateau out at a lower temperature, and then that is being retained at a temperature and costing me to run. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, Grim, hate it. What about you? Do you hate it? Nightmare. How are you all? Corey in the background, still doing well, but has it been cold, snowy, and dank? Yeah, it's been bright weather, but I don't know about you, but I don't like it. Not for me. Stresses me out. It stresses me because the energy bills, we're just not in a world anymore where you don't overly worry about energy bills, are we? It's probably been, what, the last, is it about 6-7 years where we're no longer, let's say, frivolous, or we give energy a lot of thought, because we used to run, can you remember the days of running 60 and 100 watt bulbs? 60, 100 watt bulbs, yes. Now look at us. We're all saving, trying to save watts. Not kilowatts, watts. That's how governments and the energy companies, the rich, have got us mid-range people scrabbling around. We're the ones making all the savings and all the cuts to gain what? Not a lot. Anyway, less of that rant, because you can get off in a rant when you start talking about that sort of stuff. We've gone from -5, -6. My main pond is 3.5 at the moment. It wasn't that low last year. I've checked, I'll let you know. And last year the lowest was 4.7 with the 4-inch Euromatic, sorry. The 4-inch balls, the half air, the half water, was 4.7, and that was in February. that's hit this last week the lowest temperature, not drastically going from say 10 to 3.5, but gradually over the week or so, the week or two. And I don't like it, because for me the koi go into what's called torpor. That is a state of real hibernation where their body, the immune system or the body is literally shutting down and conserving everything just to survive, and I don't like it. So I said on a previous video, 1-2 down, that I wasn't going to put pond balls on unless I succumb, and I'm going to succumb. Again, I did last year about the same time. On one of my videos you'll see about this time last year there was snow on the ground again, and I managed to just get my pond balls on. So I think what I did was, when the snow come, I dumped all the balls on, then I put my viewing window at the end. But anyway, that's going to get done as soon as it starts pissing down, because we've literally gone from, yesterday was ice cold, it was, when I went to the gym I think it was 1 degree, so we're teetering on the edge. So obviously the ice and snow isn't melting. So in Nottingham we got 4 inches of snow. I think we got the most in the country, which is not a lot, but it's a fair amount for us. So let's have you facing this way. So yeah, I'm going to succumb and put those bomb balls on, because what I will show you, well not really show you, but what people all think is, oh great, yeah, we're going to 10 to 15 degrees this next week. Well, that outdoor pond temperature, that is not going to raise to 10 to 15 degrees. It's just not going to simply happen, because the warmth in that air is not going to heat that up. It's going to probably take some time for that water temperature to become ambient temperature with the surrounding air. Mark my word. So today it's ret. It's still cold. We're probably about 10 degrees today, 8-10 degrees out there. It's absolutely wazzing it down. It's Saturday. Forest are playing Arsenal. Here we go. So we've gone from 4 inches of snow. It's all melted now off the roof. There's still some left. You can see a bit on that roof there. On my deck I've got some, but it's absolutely tittling it down. And the temperature is just hovering around 10, just under 10. So now we're going to be getting a little bit of wind from Storm Bert. I mean, with a name like that, I'm not going to lose you no sleep tonight. Anyway, look at these. These are doing okay, I gotta say. I've dropped the feed now to 2. They're probably only getting about 12 grams a day, because I weighed out with the restrictor I've got in there. It only gives about, for every feed, it gives about 6 to 8 gram. That's why I put it on the height of the summit. It's on volume 2. So that's turned right down now to only 2, I think. So have a look. 1 on, 2 off. No, 1 feed a day. I'm on 1 feed a day, and I came in today and I put a bit of food in, and they have been up and they started having it. Still a bit there, look. So yeah, they're looking okay. No marks, bumps, grumps or anything like that. What I have noticed is, look at the DK line, the Shiro in there at Surrey. You can't really see it, but I might try and get a better view in a minute. That Sumi is starting to consolidate, if you know what I mean. It was sitting really low. I'll try and come over here. Where is the bugger? There it is. You can see it. Can you see it coming up on the sides and the top? It's actually darker for me in person, but you get my drift. Anyway, so they're looking good. But last year in this greenhouse, at this time of year, I set my 2 heaters, the thermostat, so there was controlling cutting off when it was about 14 degrees in here. And if you look at my previous video from a year ago, it was toasty in here. It was 14 degrees and toasty. But by God, with that 3 kilowatt heater going on and off, and the 3 kilowatt heater down there, 6 kilowatts of heat going to heat this area up. It's quite big. Each of these panels are 2 meters. This is 8 meters long by about 4.2 wide, I think, or 4 wide, something like that. There's not a bad volume. So to heat that on them, because what I thought last year, I didn't have that mini air source heat pump. and I didn't have the inline heater set up. I thought if I set those to 14, heat this here up to 14 degrees, then this would be about 12. And it was managing it just, but by God, because that was keeping to the ambient temperature, but it cost me, I think my electric bill for that 1 month was £450 for 1 month. Can't do it again. I know it was only 1 month, but if I try to do that for 3-4 months, I'm spending a couple of grand. Not happening. And that's my point about when we're not in a position anymore to be frivolous. So if that was cheap energy, I could do. But anyway, the less of that rant. So I've been tweaking the air source heat pump down now over the last week, because even though the demand has been on. So when I came in yesterday, that light was on green, so they're sending power to it. Because it was below that air source heat pump, I've gone into the settings. The mini air source heat pumps are set to about 5 degrees C to cut off. Then they won't work. They'll come up with a P7 code or something like that. And it's not got a fault, it's just that when it senses the ambient temperature of outside, it's 5 degrees C, it cuts off and won't work until that temperature reduces, or sorry, increases to above 5. So what I did last year when I was trialling that air source heat pump, the mini one, I set that to 0, to its lowest setting. But what happened is the mini air source heat pump was absolutely screaming its arse off, overworking, so it's being less efficient, struggling to keep this to say 10 degrees, 11 degrees, what it is now, and then it would freeze up and it would cut off anyway and go to another error code. So you can't beat science, guys, with these mini air source heat pumps, so you've got to use them in summer like I did this year. So say if at ambient temperature without the air source heat pump I might keep 21, well with it I can keep 24 stable. So early in the year, later on in the year, for that 5 months period in summer, it was kicking on and off, but I didn't notice any cost to it. I've not gone, oh my God, the air source heat pump's kicking in like it does in winter. But what it's done, and because I'm indoors obviously as well, that makes a difference, it's enabled me to get 5 months of 24 degrees, and I've got the Sakiyakari growth in them this year, and they've benefited no end. I mean, look at that. Anyway, we've already done the critique of my fish early on in the year. So I've been tweaking that down, so that is set to come on if the temperature drops to 10.4. Look, it's currently 10.5. If that was to drop to 10.4, that would send power to the air source heat pump, and then when it goes up a 0.1, goes to 10.5, it will then kick off and turn the power off like it is now. So these are really good. So my air source heat pump temperature is actually on 24 degrees. So what you can do is get one of these, a controller like this, and then it's literally plugged, the power goes in, and then it sends power to the air source heat pump. And because the air source heat pump is on 24 degrees, when it gets power, it'll just cut on and off. And that's how you control the temperature, because on these, you can go down to 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. So if you're one of them people who's rising, because what I find was, and sorry for rambling on, but if you have 1 degree, my air source heat pump was taking too long, stopping on for too long, and trying to rise 1 degree. It just wouldn't cope. So it might just cope, stop on for a few hours, but then by that time the temperature was dropping at night time, and it might not just reach it even though it's been on for a long time. So, but on this, it only drops 0.1, then it kicks in for a short period and keeps it at 0.1. And I know what people will say, well, all it's going to do is go 0.1, 10.5, 10.4, 10.5. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't, trust me. Mine doesn't anyway. That's not come on. Well, we'll see. Let's see if that clicks in while we're in here. So the air temperature in here is saying, this is saying it's 5, but my other one is saying 0.8, but I would trust that one more than this. This ain't right, I don't think. So I'd say it feels like about 8-10 degrees in here at the moment, and that's probably why that's holding at 10.5. The Inkbird is saying 10.7. That's saying 10.7. So at the minute there's no call for heat, but at the minute that has been kicking in. I've lowered that. So instead of this keeping 12 degrees, I'm thinking, well, what benefit am I going to get at 12 degrees compared to, say, 10.5, 11 now? Because even at 12 degrees, I can't bang loads of food in. You're just maintaining. So I'm maintaining them still with 1 to 2 feeds a day, but a slightly lower temperature. I'm pushing that boundary a bit of 1 degree, which hopefully is going to save me. Because at the minute, my electric bill meter is absolutely screaming this time last year. And at the minute, look, nothing's on. Just my pumps and stuff. Heater's not kicked on. Air source heat pump's not on. Even though it could be today, because it's gone a bit milder, hasn't it? It's above 5 degrees now. So if that sent power to the air source heat pump, it would come on. But there's no point, because it reached a higher temperature. And then when it gets cold again, the air source heat pump go off, and then this would have heat loss and then drop again. So I'm tailoring it to my conditions. That's the method of the madness this year. I'm giving it a go. But one negative for sure. This time last year in here at 14 degrees, this was dry. If I can get the air temperature near above 12, 13, 14, round about that, I don't get a saturation point on much condensation. Yeah, I still get it, but not like this. Because we've had this cold, and that warmer air in here of, say, 10 degrees has been hitting the wall, it's just saturation, look. But I haven't been in here every day mopping up. So what I do, I've got this mop, look, and I literally, see all that, see that there, look? I literally do that because it's that wet, look, it's dripping. I don't normally let it get that bad. You can literally do that and not get a drip. So I've got to get in here at some point and get back to square one again. Because this now is just running. Look. Look at that. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So that's the downside. That is the biggest downside. Obviously, the humidity in here. I mean, look at that. This is way at saturation point, probably 100% in here now. And the plants won't like it either. So they're not being watered or anything, they're just taking the humidity out of the air. The Japanese Neophornetia, they can go cold, so they should be okay. So yeah, things are doing okay, but it's not buoyant and not warm. We've got to hang in there now for December, January, February. 3 months of this, and hopefully March, we're getting warmer days and we're creeping out of it. 3 months seems long, but it'll soon be Christmas, then we've got 2 months. Got to hang in there, haven't we? It's either that, or you dig deep on your pockets and spend on electricity. Well, this year, I'm doing it slightly the opposite. And so far, I've saved £400. Easy, £400 so far in December. Because I'm not trying to heat 4 degrees higher in here. Because I mean, if we've been -6 outside and I'm trying to heat this at 14 degrees, can you imagine the cost of that alone? Talking trying to raise 20 degrees, or keep 20 degrees higher than outside. Crazy stuff, crazy stuff. So it's all about choices, isn't it? It's all about choice. Cactually seems to be doing okay. The one that I got off Amazon seems pretty stable at the minute. Moving bed's looking okay. So what we'll do now, we'll conclude at the pond, the main pond. Look at the clarity of the water, lovely. To me, it looks whiter, a whiter white in here than what you're seeing. Oh, I'll tell you what, I've got an update for you guys. Wow. Right. So, the carbon that I've got, I think it's too fine. So when I had that crashing into the bag and crashing onto the carbon, I think after a week or two it dissolved it, because last time I cleaned that out there was no bloody carbon in it. So it's got me thinking, because of that disturbance, because of that going into the bag and hitting the carbon, is basically in time dissolving it. I know, crazy. And I did notice before that my brushes were getting black. So obviously it got into the water column somehow by dissolving. You couldn't really see it in here, but I could notice a staining on my filter. So what I've done now, I've put it into like a cheesecloth, wrapped it, got a tie wrap on it, so it's like a ball of it, and that's inside the bag now, and I've moved the bag over. So the bubbling is next to it, look, not directly on it. Yeah, wow. So yeah, so hopefully that will still keep and maintain this a better clarity in terms of the coloration of the water. But I'm getting a few more DOCs now because they're not collecting in the bag. So anyway, that's a trade-off. I can't have the bloody carbon dissolving, can I? It's a lesson learnt there. That might be one for you. Here is that carbon. Like you can see, it's very fine. There's probably only a few mil. It's almost like grit, finer than grit. So it's quite good stuff though, but a bit too fine I think for crashing through a water. So off to the pond. So here we are at the main pond. As you can see, there's still ice and snow left on the deck where it was yesterday, and literally overnight it's more or less gone. Like I say, it's about 10 degrees today. Here's the pond. There's the fish. The fish are mooching about as they do. They're not in, you know, full torpor at the bottom of the pond, which is good to see. So despite my inkbird saying it's had a low, it's 3.6 now, and it's had a low of 3.2. 3.2. So last year, like I say, if I remember, I'll drop an image on here of it. I'll take a screenshot of my readings. I've gone through all my readings for the year, and the lowest was in February at 4.7. So technically the pond balls then, if that's right, is keeping about 2 degrees difference. So if I can keep this at about 4 or 5 degrees at its absolute lowest, not all the time, that was for a short period, so it gradually came down and it started going back up, and then into March, and then it gradually to peak of about 21. So yeah, the water's looking good. I've reduced the flow right through the shower. I'm going to try and keep that trickling this year because I turned that off last year when it got really cold. Well, it's had a good test now because it's been down to -5, no problems. That's still running. I didn't turn that off, and I turned that off last year when the balls went on. So that's what I did last year when the balls went on, to conserve, because that's going to be running on top of the balls. I just thought that would cool, super cool the water, and it may do. So what I may find is I put the pond balls on, but because of that I'm not achieving the same minimum temperature that I did last year of 4.7, but I'll see. So when this rain bloody stops, I've got my panels here, so here remains clear glass and an opening panel here so I can feed, and then that is pond balls, as opposed to putting I've got enough pond balls to fill the whole pond, but you can't see them then, so I do a little bit there where I can see. So on a nice day, literally sit, lift a glass panel here and still feed them and just have a look at them and see what they're doing. So that's a great idea to get that balance. And like I say, 3.6 at the moment. Because of the snow, I've pulled that right back. So obviously now I've pulled that right back, they're a bit more open to the elements now. Revive, herons can see, prey, they've got a better viewing window at them. So you imagine that from above. Wow, herons will love that, won't they? But they're quite covered up with this pond, but they could easily get up onto the side and have them. So yeah, I think the pond balls are going on for that reason as well. That filled with snow, it was sagging like that. So anyway, it's Saturday. I think last year I braved the snow and did it, but I don't think I can be bothered today with this, so I'm not sure. My camera, wow. Oh, that's the rain look. So anyway, I think that's oh God. And the Canary Islands at the moment, like 25 degrees by day. Jealous. Seen someone on Facebook, shorts and t-shirt. When we had snow here at 4 inch, they was in shorts and t-shirt, and it was a lovely, you know, sunny day in Lanzarote. Hey ho. So on that note, thanks for watching. That's been a bit of an update, a bit of a ramble, a bit of everything. Oh my God, I've got to tell you something. I've been made a couple of banging purchases from Ricky Stoddart. If you go on Telegram, or you want to go on Telegram, you're an avid koi keeper, or even you're not an avid koi keeper, you're just getting into it, go on Telegram, look up Ricky Stoddart Nishikigoi, join that group. It's cracking. I'm now an admin on there, so I help out just with make sure everything's okay and everyone's being friendly and stuff. But it's great banter, and Ricky does sales through there. He does sales now direct to public, which is absolutely marvellous for us. So my dog was very ill the other week and I needed to pick me up, so I sent him a message saying any chance one of them DK line Nishikigoi as a pick me up. Then he sent me a video and I bought one. What beautiful, absolute beautiful, living the dream. So he's had a couple of auctions lately. Oh, Sakai Fish Farm Kawako offer him a 3-step, beautiful. It's still with him growing. I bought that as well. And then in the auctions in the week, he had a lovely, another DK line Shiro, absolute beautiful. And Dave, someone called Dave, he was bidding, and he's like a bit of an animal. He likes to bang a bid down. Well, I caught it right. With growing, I got this fish for £440. It's an absolute beauty. What else did I buy? I'm sure I bought another one. Can't remember. No, I think that's it. So I've got 4 with Ricky now. I've got the DK Shiro, the Tatigoi. I've got the Shinoda Hiyatsuri, and I've got the Kohaku. Ooh, there's another one. Oh, I forgot. Anyway, that's to come. So thanks for watching. Please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the koi kick symbol and subscribe, and see you on the next one, when hopefully this water is a little bit warmer. Even though, look at them at 3.7. See, that's the difference. And I've got the pond balls on, I won't see them like that. That's the trade-off. See you on the next one.